Hi, I'm Mark and this is lesson 3 in blues rhythm guitar, and in this lesson we're going to look at the swing rhythm. So in this lesson we're going to look at 2 examples of adding a kind of swing rhythm to your blues playing. So lesson 1 looked at Chicago style, lesson 2 looked at Texas style, and lesson 3 now is looking at swing. So lesson 1 we had this hard shuffle. I'm going to do this in D because all the examples in this lesson are in D. So Chicago style hard is. So you notice everything's on the downstroke. Swing, we change the rhythm. The shuffle's not that hard, the rhythm's changed slightly, and we're going to be using upstrokes. So to kind of give it a bit more of a jazzy feel, I'm going to be using a 9 chord, so that's a D9. And the rhythm's going to go like this. So that's just a simple strumming pattern, holding down the D9, kind of muting it sometimes and holding it down. I have to admit, I don't fully really think about what I'm playing. It's just kind of a rhythm. You get that swing rhythm. Best thing to do is hold down the D9, just try and play along with me. Okay, and just practice that until you've got that rhythm and that swing. You'll notice that there's kind of a few things going on there. There's the dampening of the strings occasionally. There's a little bit of percussion where I'm actually hitting the guitar slightly. And that's generally when the strings are being damped as well. So you got that noise going on at the same time. You've got the muted strings. So this example's taken from a song that me and my singer Pete wrote called Blues for My Baby. There's a whole other series on how to write blues songs that this example's taken from, and basically somebody left me a comment saying, can you explain what the rhythm part is? So that's kind of why I'm doing this video. So we got that, and we can move through the progression and play a G7, G13 chord for the 4 chord, and an A7 as well. So the whole piece will go like this. So those are the kind of chords I'm using in that song. So another thing that I do then to kind of make that a bit more interesting is I will, when I'm approaching that G chord, I'll come in from the note above and just put like a G sharp on the bass there. So we get this. Sounds a little odd when you play it like that, but in context you'll hear what it sounds like. So like that, so you get this little movement between them. So when you hear that, that's kind of a little bit of tension, and then we release by going into the G. Okay, so that's basically the rhythm part from the song Blues for My Baby, which is incidentally a little plug here taken from my album, Northbound, Wish I Was Home, 11 tracks of original modern acoustic blues. And if you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, and watch my other videos, leave me some comments, that kind of thing. So there's a little advert out the way. So all of these things that I'm showing you, they work equally well on acoustic as electric. I'm just happen to use acoustic for this particular lesson because it kind of it's just more convenient. So that's the first example. Now the second example is going to take that and kind of put a walking bass line on it as well. So here's example 2, and it's going to go like this. Okay, so still in the key of D, we're doing a D9. We're just hitting that once, and then we're playing this walking line, and the line is basically 2 on the open E to 5 on the open E, 2 on the E string to 5 on the E string, 3 on the A string to 5 on the A string. So it's basically a D7 arpeggio, and that's the little movement that we're doing. So the way I'm doing it, as I'm hitting the chord on the first beat of the bar, and then playing 3 bass notes. So we get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And rhythm on the right hand is that kind of relentless up and down swing with the hitting the strings, and sometimes muting and sometimes letting the note ring out. And basically on the upstroke, I'm muting the chords. So let it ring on the down, mute on the up, let it ring on the down, mute on the up. Okay, it's kind of hard to explain when you're doing it that mechanically and you're slowing it down that much. The important thing is to get the feel. So you go. So downstroke you're hitting, upstroke you mute, and that's basically the way it goes. And then we move to the G chord, and we're playing the same arpeggio, but because our root note is now here, what we're actually playing is our arpeggio goes. So we're playing the G chord, which is our root. Then we're playing 2 on the A string, 5 on the A string, and then 3 on the D string. Like that. Okay? And again, upstrokes you mute, downstrokes you hit. Okay, and then when we go to then we go back to the D and do that little run again, and then when we go up to the A chord, I'm just using the chords. And then we get the turnaround, and the turnaround's going to go like this. So what I'm doing is hitting the D on the 1, and then walking up from 2nd fret on the E string all the way up to 5 on the E string. So we get this. And when we land on 5 on the E string, I'm actually playing the A chord, because that's kind of the target that we're aiming at. So nice and slow we get this. And you'll notice during that walk, where I'm actually doing again is hitting on the downstroke, mute on the up, down, mute, down, mute, down, mute. Okay, so a little guide to a swing style there, and also adding in the walk and bass line. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson. I'll see you again.
I got the blues for my baby since she's been gone. I roll and tumble right all night long. Baby, quit being foolish. Bring your clothes back home.